So one of the things we stress upon every person we met, which is thousands now, was to vote. Vote in the election. Vote for the Green Party, which I'm running as a candidate for. Vote for the NDP or even the Liberals. Anybody to get rid of the Conservatives. But here's one of the sad stories. A young girl came up to us and she said to me, well, how do I vote? She pulls up our website on her cell phone to show you how the times are changing. She pulls up our website and says, where do I go to vote on here? And I said, no. You don't vote on our website. You vote in the election. Vote for a party.
Most people think of voting for American Idol and things like that in the modern era.
So even though we explained it to her, then she's looking at us so eagerly, wanting to help. Mark, I'm a big fan, she's saying. And then as she leaves, she goes, well, bye, Mark, I'll vote for you. And I thought, oh my goodness.
In other words, she doesn't have a single bit of experience or knowledge about actual politics and the political system we live in. And that casting a ballot, shall we say, is not the same as voting for your favorite ringtone or your American Idol choice. But a lot of young people think that's what you're voting. And you know what? I appreciate the fact, because you get your results immediately and it's for something you care about. That this girl had never thought at age 19 about the political implications and what goes on is either a testament to how bad our school system is or how clued out young people are from mainstream political activity.
But they even choose to do that. One person we met in another city, Mark asked her if she had voted in the election, and she goes, don't ask me anything about that. I watch television. I don't know anything.
That was a strange answer. Don't ask me. I don't know anything. I watch television.
But I'm thinking, well, you guys, you have to actually get involved. Yeah, the political system sucks. Yeah, they're a bunch of lying, thieving sons of bitches. Yeah, it's a shitty system, but it's a system that's making laws that put you in prison. Yeah. You have to become engaged. I've run in the provincial election. It's a sleazy game. There's all sorts of cheating and lying, and it seems like a big fraud, so why bother? Well, the point is, people like Mark and many others are punished because people don't vote.
I mean, in the next election, then coming up in Canada, you can literally vote my freedom. Because if we replace the Conservative government, then I will automatically be transferred back to Canada within a year and on day parole within 1 year. And that's a great deal shorter than the 5-year sentence I'm going to get if I get stuck in America. So if we do vote out the Conservative government, we can actually do something for one specific human being, me. You'll knock years off my sentence if you vote out the Conservative government, because they may well resist bringing me back to Canada for some time, particularly if they get a majority government. But even if they remain in government, they're going to be resisting bringing back any marijuana convicts from the United States, which under the Liberal government were automatic. So there's even one good reason. The marijuana people will benefit directly, myself and others, by getting rid of this Conservative government, not to mention the thousands of people who will go to jail if Bill C-15 passes the Senate later this month. And that's your next immediate assignment, is continue to write your senators in Canada here about not passing Bill C-15, about repudiating. The Prime Minister has stacked the Senate with 8 more totally partisan political appointments, Conservatives who are just bagmen for the party, worst reprehensible kind of people to appoint to the Senate, and they're going to be there for like 30, 40 years, some of them, who are only 35 years old, will be in the Senate for the next 40 years, getting $100,000 plus a year just to rubber stamp Stephen Harper's evil agenda. So we've got to get involved. Voting is more than just voting for your favorite ringtone.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bill C-15, we've made it very easy for you to contact your senators. Go to whyprohibition.ca, and there's a Stop Bill C-15 letter. You just add your name and address and press send, and it goes to all of the senators in your province. But it's desperately important that you do this, because if our Conservative government passes this, people are going to go to prison for growing 5 plants, 6 months automatically.
Hey, if you've got kids in the house, it's a year mandatory minimum. Think about that, Mom and Dad, and as if that's going to help your kids. And also, if you rent a property and grow pot in there, it's a 9-month mandatory minimum just to rent. So there's a whole bunch of new laws that a lot of people don't know affect every single person growing pot, selling pot, and even smoking pot. And the government wants to make this just the beginning. This is just the beginning of the make the sinners pay.
Yeah, we don't want to be like America with their prison system and their prison nation, where our government here does want that. I wouldn't be surprised if Stephen Harper and his friends have stock in private prisons waiting for them to be introduced in Canada.
In any case, they all believe we're going to be tossed into the lake of fire because they believe that they're going to get taken away by Jesus when he returns to earth here sometime in the next 20, 30 years. That's why they don't give a shit about our healthcare system or about the education system or the environment, because if it's all going to burn up in a lake of fire, why worry about it?
As long as they and their believers are
But now,
okay.
to the present, we've got a worldwide rally on my behalf on Saturday, September 19th. It's happening all over the place, from Bellingham, Washington, nearby to Washington, D.C. in the capital. It's happening in Dawson Creek up there in northern B.C. It's happening in Toronto. It's happening in Miami. It's happening in Lima, Peru,
all over the world.
Auckland, New Zealand, all over the world. And if you don't have a rally going on in your community, if you'd like to organize a rally in your community, you please get hold of us here at CannabisCulture.com, Mark at CannabisCulture.com, or Jeremiah at CannabisCulture.com. Let us know you're planning to put on a rally on my behalf to protest my jailing, which will be on September 28th now. The rallies around the world are still September 19th. We don't need to change that
Saturday.
date. But just so you know, I'll be going to jail on Monday, September 28th. And I'll be held here in a Canadian jail for 2 to 6 weeks until the Minister of Justice here, Rob Nicholson, signs the extradition order. Which should be interesting. If we have an election and he's required to sign an extradition order for me during an election, then that is a great opportunity to make sure you bring up my extradition with all the politicians that are running in this election. Ask them where they stand. Ask them if they will do their most to bring Marc Emery back to Canada from a U.S. jail cell. Let's see what they say. The Conservatives will probably give you that hard-on-crime kind of claptrap that's caused all the problem in the first place. They'll probably defend the prohibition. So you want to bring that out in them. You want to get the Liberals and the NDP and the Green Party and the Bloc to commit to rescinding Bill C-15, to opposing this crazy ratcheting up of the drug war, and to bringing me back to Canada to serve my time here under Canadian sentencing principles as soon as possible. And an election is a great time to put them on the spot.
Yeah, so a nice thing you could do would be to put little signs everywhere, or if you're holding the rally, say, Google Marc Emery. When Mark and I helped Ron Paul's presidential campaign, that was a very popular and helpful phrase, Google Ron Paul, because people can go find out whatever they want.
He's still the greatest American politician that ever was.
And so if you just hold a sign for the September 19th rally, just stand outside your local courthouse or Canadian consulate with a sign that says Google Marc Emery, then people will say, well, what is that guy doing there? Well, then let's find out who Marc Emery is.
And your other signs could say no jail for Prince of Pot, or vote no on Bill C-15, or time for an election in this country now, depending what country.
No more drug war.
Yeah,
it's endless.
End Stephen Harper's drug war, this sort of thing.
We're talking about around the world, though. We need global people everywhere to end prohibition, tell the U.S. drug war to get out of our countries. A lot of South American countries are doing that. They're changing their laws, Mexico included.
And we hopefully have one in Argentina to a rally on my behalf. In Argentina, Supreme Court just legalized possession of all drugs for all Argentinians, can't be overturned, and new legislation is being drafted right now in Argentina to allow for the distribution of these substances to the people, and that includes marijuana and all other illegal drugs or previously illegal drugs. So the world is changing, and California is changing, and I hope it changes really soon. I hope you're going to have a rally for me on Saturday, September 19th. Please consider it. Please attend one. I would really be honored by your presence at a rally on my behalf protesting my jail in the United States.
Yep, do whatever you can, you guys. End this drug war, because we can't keep having people suffer this way.
That's right. Thanks very much, and we'll see you at the rallies all over the world, Saturday, September 19th. I'll be speaking in Vancouver at the Art Gallery at the rally on my behalf right here.
Get posters to make for your own city. We've got the file at CannabisCulture.com. Check it out.